What is going on, crypto fiends? Thank you for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing to the channel. I'm Ryan Rotolo, and oh my god, guys, it is 2020. Yes, we made it a whole another year in the cryptocurrency space, and it feels really good. I am genuinely excited for the year of 2020 in the crypto industry. I think this is going to be the best year yet, not even factoring in the end of 2017 and the beginning of 2018. This, in my opinion, is going to be the most promising year we've ever experienced in the cryptocurrency industry. Now, today we are going to be not diving too deep into all of that excitement because I do want to save that for a video later this week. But today I just want to look at the past history we've experienced with Bitcoin in 2019, from the first day to what we experienced to the last day. And I also want to discuss how Bitcoin has a high probability of reaching roughly $50,000 in 2020, of course, due to this halvening we have occurring in May of this year. All this in today's video coming up. So this year for Bitcoin and the entire blockchain industry, we got to celebrate our 10th anniversary for the resilience of Satoshi Nakamoto creating Bitcoin. Although we did struggle due to dealing with the 2018 cryptocurrency winter, fortunately Bitcoin did boom 11% in the first quarter of 2019. This is mainly due to more buyers than sellers on a net basis of the year. As the trading volume increased throughout the second quarter of the year, Bitcoin gained 165%, going from roughly $4,000 to $10,000, which also, of course, increased Bitcoin's dominance from roughly 55% to 65%. Among all of the reasons all of this could have occurred, the main one that stands out is the US and China trade war, which caused investors to look for hedging, either being Bitcoin or gold. However, it was not all shine for Bitcoin in 2019. Over the third quarter of the year, a bearish outlook emerged, and Bitcoin's price decreased drastically, over $100 billion in the market, and dropping the dominance 5.4%. Ultimately, Bitcoin's performance has been the best it's ever been, being from a low to high of 260% of an increase, and finishing off the year roughly around $7,400, over 100% increase on the year. Okay, so there's been one real focal point for cryptocurrencies over the past 2 years now, and that's been the halvening occurring in May of 2020. Is the halvening already priced into Bitcoin? Are we going to experience a rally up to May? Are we going to experience the rally after the halvening? Well, unfortunately, I don't have a direct answer for you guys because I'm not a guru, but the most probable answer is that we are not going to be going down. Now, I know that answer sounds pretty idiotic, but just bear with me now. So if you guys are not familiar with the halvening, a halvening event in Bitcoin is when the amount of Bitcoin generated by the network roughly every 10 minutes is cut in half every 4 years. This event is going to be taking place again in May of 2020 this year. And to give you guys some perspective on how the price movement was affected, Bitcoin over the course of that 4-year period increased 4,000%. Now, another factor that's really transitioned over the years is the main selling point of Bitcoin and how it's evolved. The initial idea for Bitcoin is that we were going to pay for coffee with Bitcoin, but obviously this has failed to materialize over the years. The narrative now is that Bitcoin is the new form of gold. It's a store of value. Now, one factor that plays into Bitcoin simply reaching the $50,000 mark as of right now is that Bitcoin only has to take hold of 10% of the current gold market. 10%. Now, I know that sounds a little unrealistic for 10% of the gold industry to transition into Bitcoin overnight, but if you factor in all of the different industries that have their eyeballs on Bitcoin, as well as all of the turmoil happening around the world with uncertainty in countries like Iran, Iraq, Venezuela, China, all of these factors come into play and help the price movement of Bitcoin over time. Now, I'm not trying to promote turmoil or negativity to help the cryptocurrency industry, but these are just simple factors that we need to be realistic on, considering if you look at the past history of wars, etc., you can see the price of gold and silver skyrocket during those time periods. And you also have to realize that members of the crypto industry are not the only ones that see this. Members of US Congress see the massive potential and impact that Bitcoin can have on society, including Congressman Patrick McHenry that said Bitcoin has enormous long-term value, while Congressman Brad Sherman is worried about the cryptocurrency's potential to impact the US dollar as the major reserve currency in the world. This is big stuff, guys, and it is all at the forefront right now in the cryptocurrency industry. This is something that we would have never thought that we'd be dealing with 2 years ago in 2017, but we are here dealing with it today, and I gotta say, guys, I am pretty excited that it is all coming into fruition. So although we don't have an exact price point for 2020, it's not unrealistic to think Bitcoin could simply double in a half to $50,000 in 2020. Just be open to the idea that Bitcoin can skyrocket overnight like we experienced in December of 2017, and just make sure that you are prepared if something like that does happen and that you do have a plan for the aftermath. Personally, for me, I took a big L in January of 2018. I think the majority of us can say that occurred to them as well. I am completely okay with owning up to that and saying that, yes, I lost a large amount of my portfolio back in January of 2018, but it's clear to see that it was a tremendous learning experience for me personally, and I am 100% prepared for this next run we are going to experience, and I hope you are all as well.